The devil is influencing President Obama. Hello, I'm Dr. Chester. By way of an introduction, I'm the chiropractor who sued and successfully won a major landmark antitrust lawsuit against the American Medical Association. However, I lost my wife and entire family in the process and learned from my experience that there is a devil. I also learned that 40% of the Christians in the Barna study mistakenly believe that the devil is only a symbol of evil and not a person. Yet if you ask any minister or priest, they will all tell you that the devil is an actual person and more than a symbol, that he can influence people into doing evil things. In that case, then why doesn't the media at the very least suggest that the devil could be influencing President Obama? He has done so many harmful things to America, and I can't think of one positive thing he's ever contributed since he became a president. The story of how my lawsuit against the AMA got started and the courtroom drama which followed is more dramatic than any John Grisham novel, especially since my story is true. It'd make an incredible motion picture if some enterprising producer happens to be listening. I also learned that I had a guardian angel who protected and guided me with such incredible accuracy that it took a polygraph test proving it actually happened. The AMA had a committee with a noble-sounding name, but the prime mission of this committee was as evil and sinister as the showers of Auschwitz. The AMA stated within its confidential records that the prime mission of this committee was, and I quote, the containment and ultimate elimination of chiropractic, unquote. The history of the lawsuit is in my book entitled Medicine, Monopolies, and Malice and was published by the Avery Publishing Company. The lawsuit took 14 years, went to the Supreme Court twice before the AMA was ultimately found guilty of violating the Sherman antitrust law. The AMA reportedly spent $20 million on the suit and was found guilty. The heroic efforts of attorney George P. McCann was taking on 5 ragtag clients, not even know if he was going to get paid, didn't go too well with some of the law partners, and so George left the law firm he was with, formed his own firm, which became very successful with 85 lawyers. He is the finest Christian man I have ever known. His courage, tenacity, and selfless commitment to correcting a serious wrong, combined with his brilliant legal mind and David Goliath's story, would make a magnificent motion picture. Here is the book that could be used for the motion picture. I believe the devil is influencing President Obama and the Democratic Party. There are too many examples to take lightly. I'm going to give you 38 reasons by the number, and then you can decide for yourself if you believe I'm right. And so number 1 is, the devil has influenced President Obama into becoming outrageously foolish, dishonest, irresponsible, and destructive. He's on the wrong side of too many issues to be a positive source. He supposedly has an IQ of a genius, but his conduct is either that of a self-destructive ignoramus or someone influenced by the devil. It's got to be one or the other, and I believe it is the latter. Number 2, the video of the 2012 Democratic Convention clearly reveals a louder vocal majority of the delegates voted for God's removal from the Democratic platform. Listen to the video. Yet the convention chairman left God in the platform, so the Democrats couldn't even do a vocal floor vote with honesty. This is the smoking gun of the devil firmly entrenched in the Democratic Party, if you ever saw one. And all you good Christians out there, are you listening and are you aware of this fact? Number 3, the Democrats claim they're being transparent when the exact opposite is true. There's all kinds of cover-up. We have the Benghazi cover-up, the IRS cover-up, Obama's birth certificate cover-up, Hillary Clinton's email cover-up, the cover-up where Obama swapped 5 dangerous terrorists in exchange for a military deserter. Then he kept withholding the release of the embarrassing Bergdahl report, which was another cover-up. The Democratic Party has become a party of lies and cover-up. Number 4, President Obama is a liar, and he proved it beyond all reasonable doubt. We've all heard how he insisted you can keep your health care insurance plan, and the fact that he knew he was lying when he lied. He got 4 Pinocchios for it. And the architect of the plan even said the American people were stupid to accept it. He didn't know he was being recorded when he made this comment in a private conversation. Number 5, Senator Harry Reid openly admitted and even boasted that he lied about Governor Romney's income tax and took credit on how he helped the Democratic Party win the presidency because of his lying. Now that's a new low of bragging about lying. Number 6, the Democrats bugged Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's private meeting one time. This was another Watergate scandal, but the Democrats got away with it. Number 7, the Democrats punish success through more punitive taxation of those who are more successful. It takes away incentives to grow and become more successful and weakens our economy. If you want to lower our gross national product, then raise the taxes, drive the business out of the country overseas. Number 8, the Democrats promote governmental dependency with 50 million people on food stamps, which is a form of slavery, and dependence on the government. The Democrats actually ran some scripts on television in Spanish blatantly encouraging people to apply for food stamps whether they think they need them or not. This is being deliberately dishonest. Number 9, the government is not a reliable source for any retirement or health care programs. Medicare is broke, Social Security is broke. Obamacare is anti-competitive and undermines our health care by causing the quality of health care to go down and the costs to go up. Number 10, President Obama is guilty of demagoguery by arousing passions and prejudice and turning his back on Christians and Jews while the president travels around the world bowing to the Muslim chiefs, apologizing for America's success, pampering and kissing up to the Muslims. We're in a spiritual war, and President Obama and the Democratic Party appears to be on the wrong side of it. International respect for America has gone down to a new low because of Obama's policies. Number 11, President Obama will bankrupt America with his policies. He and the Democrats created an $18 trillion debt, which will soon exceed $20 trillion. That's more money than even exists in America. It's the largest debt in the history of the world. And if the interest on our debt exceeds our gross national product, it will bankrupt us beyond repair. And our once proud nation may be brought down to its knees. Number 12. President Obama and his radical liberal policies are causing a devaluation of our dollar. Our economy is heading for a cliff. Number 13. The Pentagon's nonpartisan group stated that Obama's policies present a grave danger to America's safety, but President Obama and the Democrats are ignoring the warnings of our military generals. I had the unique privilege of being flown out to the Offutt Air Force Base with a group of prominent leaders to meet and speak with several generals at the U.S. Strategic Command Center through a patient of mine who was in charge of public relations for the military. And I can tell you that they are not hawks, but reasonable-minded, common-sense people. And they are professionals, not naive rank amateurs like our president. Number 14. Obama is slashing and weakening our military while rejecting the advice of his generals when he pulled us out of Iraq and gave ISIS an open door. Number 15, the president is trashing our Constitution with unlawful presidential executive orders. Number 16, he's rewriting our immigration laws and allowing illegal immigrants into our nation. No civilized nation in the entire world is doing this. Only America. Number 17, he's using executive decree to bring in 100,000 Muslims every year into America for the next 5 years. This is very serious. It's estimated that 15%, if 15% of the Muslims in the world are willing to blow themselves up and kill others for Allah. And if that's the case, if only 5% are willing to blow themselves up to kill others, it still comes to 50 million potential walking bombs. Do you realize that? Bringing these potentially lethal Muslims into America is insane, self-destructive, and suicidal, yet Obama's doing it. This has to be influenced by the devil, since no reasonable-minded person could do this, while too many of us are blinded from the seriousness of his executive orders. Number 18, President Obama put America at a serious Ebola risk by refusing to ban travel to America from West Africa. All public health experts agree that this was being very irresponsible and dangerous. Wrong. Everybody agrees, except, of course, President Obama. Number 19, President Obama vetoed the Keystone Pipeline and refuses to drill for oil in our public land, keeping us vulnerable for our oil supply from nations who hate us with a passion and would rather see us annihilated as they chant, "Death to America." Alaska and North Dakota could potentially make America an independent, world-class oil producer. Obama claims he's protecting the pristine beauty of Alaska, but much of where the oil would be drilled is cold, drab, and dark 6 months of the year, and not at all pristine. Alaska's climate is depressing, and as a result, has the highest suicide rate in America. Did you realize that? I have fished in Alaska, and where I was fishing, it was quite barren, cold, and plain. No mountains anywhere. Let President Obama or any other advocate of protecting the so-called pristine beauty of Alaska try to live there for 6 months and see how they like it. This is not Hawaii. Number 20, he released 36,000 dangerous sex offenders and felons from our jails, put them on the streets, and made our streets less safe because of it. 21, President Obama used the IRS to single out and attack conservative organizations. The record shows the IRS director visited his office a recorded 157 times within 1 year. That's virtually every other day. He cannot explain or justify why he had the IRS visited him 157 times as being innocent. What could he possibly be talking about? Conservative groups were declined tax-exempt status on a large scale. If it could be proven legally, it would be a felony crime with incarceration of the violators. Of course, the violators aren't going to admit it and put themselves in jail, but common sense dictates that they very likely committed a felony. Number 22. Donald Trump generously offered to donate $5 million to a charity of President Obama's choice if he simply revealed his birth certificate and school records within a specified time period. Trump later raised the $5 million to $50 million to Obama's favorite charity. Obama not only chose to deny these poor people from receiving $50 million, but even sarcastically ridiculed and made fun of Donald Trump's offer on a late-night talk show. No true Christian could possibly do that, let alone snicker, ridicule, and make fun of an opportunity to help some less fortunate people receive $50 million. This makes no sense at all. It's so uncaring. He finally released it after the specified time. And speaking of Donald Trump, if I may sidestep my 38 reasons for a moment, Donald Trump may well become our next president. He is a Protestant Presbyterian. He said that if he became president, he'd be the greatest representative of the Christians they've had in a long time, and that he would respect and he would actually fear doing anything against the Bible. And he means it. And I think he will run, because if he doesn't run after all he has said and done, I would be very surprised and disappointed. He brings out how American negotiators are making bad deals with other countries and hurting America by literally giving away the kitchen sink with international deals. If he were president, everybody would gain, including that 47%. Type in Donald Trump for president on YouTube or Google search engine and listen to his interviews with Bret Baier, and especially watch Donald Trump at Liberty University and Donald Trump at the National Press Club on your search engine. It's powerful. Do yourself a favor and listen and become better informed. You owe it to yourself to watch it. And you'll be glad you did. I guarantee you will be impressed. He makes a lot of sense and doesn't mince words. You'll get very refreshing candor from a man who is unquestionably the most brilliant and successful businessman in the history of America, if not in the world. He doesn't dodge any questions and answers them without mincing words. You'll find his approach informative, refreshing, and entertaining. He loves his country dearly and sees it being ravaged before his eyes. And he believes he can turn the country around, and he has an impressive record to back him up. He's a great patriot with a big heart and could very well be God sent for America as our next president. Now let's move on to number 23. Constructive criticism of wrongdoing is being rejected as being politically incorrect or inappropriate. There was a time when the word discriminate was actually a good word, and people were able to discriminate between good and evil, but no longer today. This is the devil protecting the criminals and the deadbeats. Number 24. Profiling was a successful way of putting closer observation to high crime areas and weeding out the bad people. But the devil was able to influence the liberals that it was not an appropriate thing to do. Number 25. The Democrats politicized equal rights, but our American history shows that the Republicans were the abolitionists and got rid of slavery, not the Democrats. 22 Democrats led by Senator Robert Byrd, Democrat, actually filibustered for 14 hours against the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Type into your Google search engine the Democratic Party and the KKK. Read the evidence for yourself. The Democrats have the history of racism, while the Republicans got rid of slavery in America. Abe Lincoln was a Republican. Do you remember? Number 26. President Obama said America is the greatest country in the world, and then added that he was going to change it. He's certainly right about that, except he did not specify he was going to change it for the worse, much worse. Number 27. The poverty level in America is at the highest level today than when Obama took office. This indicates that his policies are a dismal failure. Spending beyond our means by $1.3 trillion a year is failing projects, is doing the same thing year after year and getting deeper and deeper in debt, and expecting different results is called insanity, according to Albert Einstein. It'll ultimately bankrupt our nation if it isn't corrected. Number 28. Dividing our nation by using race. President Obama keeps playing the race card way out of proportion. Our white society elected a black man for president 2 times, which proves conclusively that racial prejudice is no longer an issue in America, or at least amongst the white people, yet race is too often unjustifiably brought up by President Obama and the liberal followers. One of the most admired, respected, and beloved candidates for president in the Republican Party is Dr. Ben Carson, a black man. And by the way, he's blacker than President Obama. Clearly, the blacks are their own worst enemy. There's a cultural breakdown in the black families, allowing the devil to enter more freely and promote this divisiveness. There is a fear of the blacks, but fear is not prejudice. Number 29. President Obama lowers our gross national product by raising our taxes and driving our producers overseas and out of our country. That's a double whammy. Number 30. The biggest agitator and demagogue is President Obama. He needs to stand up to these troublemakers and set the record straight instead of encouraging them. The blood of the violence is on President Obama's hands. Number 31. Milne & Robinson, the world's largest actuary and business consulting firm in the world, says that 60% of all general surgeries in America are not necessary. So between the abusive overutilization of medications and surgery in America, the medical profession is killing well over 3,300 people every week. I'm not making up these statistics. They are published in medical journals. Our healthcare system needs a major overhaul by reducing the disgraceful overutilization of medications and surgery in America. Chiropractic manipulation care can reduce many of these unnecessary deaths and suffering with neuromusculoskeletal related type of ailments with chiropractic adjustments. For example, in the state of Utah, the disc surgeries are 50 times greater per capita than in England. This is inexcusable. This needs to be corrected. Number 32. If our commercial airlines caused 30 deaths a week, the whole country would be up in arms over it. Yet we lose 100 times more than this number from unnecessary medication and surgery, and nobody speaks out. That's 100 times more. Our entire nation has been mind-programmed by the devil and the pharmaceutical industry to accept these unnecessary deaths. We've been told that we don't have to face hardship, pain, adversity, just pop a pill to pleasure, escape, and relief. They spend $1.5 billion a month, that's B like in billion, programming people to take pills. We created a nation of junkies who consume enough prescription medications to put every man, woman, and child under the influence of these medications for 1 month. We have the most expensive healthcare system in the world, and MDs are the #1 biggest killer in America after heart disease and cancer. Did you know that? Our healthcare system kills more people than traffic accidents, AIDS, guns, stroke, breast cancer, diabetes, and respiratory ailments. Think about that. Unnecessary medications, and I repeat, kill more people than traffic accidents, AIDS, guns, stroke, breast cancer, diabetes, and respiratory ailments. This is a modern-day medical surgical holocaust. We've heard all the expression, ask your doctor if cured all is right for you. Oh, give me a break. We're programmed that we can't even survive unless we're taking pills. It's all about selling drugs and making money. And it's not about your best interests or your health. Number 33. President Obama and the liberal Democrats waste a lot of time harping on climate change, when in reality they can't do a damn thing about it because the Chinese are the biggest offenders, while they ignore a far more serious warning coming from the Israelis of a nuclear holocaust. President Obama is turning his back on our greatest ally in the Middle East and making a horrific mistake in so doing. Number 34. President Obama is enabling Iran to build a nuclear bomb by refusing to use economic sanctions on Iran and bypassing Congress and unlawfully using his executive power to sign a deal with Iran which will assure them of ultimately getting the bomb. And they clearly said they'd use it. They're building an intercontinental ballistic missile capable of reaching the United States. And why do you suppose they're building an intercontinental ballistic missile except to use it on us? President Obama and the liberal Democrats and some of the Republicans are blinded by the devil from recognizing the seriousness of this matter. Number 35. Obama nominated a race-obsessed lawyer who tried to permanently free an unrepentant cop killer named Abu Jamal, who shot a cop in the face at close range, put a gun right between his eyes, and then even bragged about it. This was on a traffic violation. President Obama then nominated this lawyer, who tried to save Abu Jamal, to head the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department, while all 10 of the Democrats in the Judicial Committee shamelessly endorsed this racist lawyer. The president scraped the bottom of a cesspool. He could not have chosen a worse lawyer. Fortunately, the Republicans were able to stop this racist lawyer from heading the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department. But what does that say about President Obama and the Democrats for supporting such a lawyer? Number 36. For President Obama to say that America is no longer a Christian nation but also a Muslim nation is a ridiculous statement to make and rejects honesty and reality. Show me one positive contribution any Muslim has ever contributed to America. The only things I can think of regarding Muslims are 9/11, the Boston bombings, and the USS Cole bombings, and that's not positive. And tragically, there will be more. Number 37. The devil hates Christians and Jews because America is a Judeo-Christian nation. Less than 1% of the people in the world are Jewish. In fact, 0.2%. Yet 20 and 30% of the Nobel Prize winners for excellence are Jewish. The Jewish people are incredible contributors. The devil is influencing President Obama to try to destroy America, play right into the hands of the devil. What amazes me is how any Jew could possibly want to vote for President Obama or a Democrat. Number 38. In closing, if the devil was our president today, he'd do exactly what President Obama is doing. That's a terrible thing to say, but I cannot think of one positive thing that President Obama has ever initiated in America. The wisest thing would be to impeach President Obama now before he does more damage. I don't expect to see or hear any good news coming out of our president for the remaining months, unless through some kind of divine intervention or miracle which opens President Obama's eyes. I hope President Obama sees this video. Thank you for listening. Please pass this video on to others so that millions of other people can see and hear this video, and I believe it can happen. For more information, you can get my books at Amazon and in paperback and as ebooks on Kindle. Here is my 2 books.